just like vegetables, okay? Join me as I go to Vegandale Chicago. In case you guys don't know, Vegandale is a vegan festival in Chicago. It happens in Grant Park every year. It's been going on for quite a few years now. I've been going for years. It's always been a blast. I just need to do a real quick disclaimer before I get into the rest of this vlog. I promise you this disclaimer is going to be faster than Puerto Rican rap, okay? All right. So when you are vegan and you post about being vegan on the internet, things get weird in the comment section. I think that you guys are traumatized by white veganism that is particularly toxic and projects a lot of negative things about being vegan. I know a lot of you guys are recovering from eating disorders from Freely the Banana Girl, Raw Vana, Fully Raw Christina, Naturally Vegan, That Vegan Teacher, Nakado Avocado had like a vegan phase at one point, and y'all think that that is a representation of how all vegans are, and it's not true. Wisdom is chasing you, but you're too fast, okay? Wisdom is chasing you, but you're too fast. I'm just gonna do a real quick little backstory about how I got into veganism. And I think that because I came into this space from this place in particular, I don't share a lot of the toxic views that are prevalent in the vegan community, okay? So a lot of people don't believe me when I tell them this, but the reason why I'm vegan is because I genuinely do not like the animal products that we consume. Like, I do not enjoy eating them. I do not enjoy having them. Can I help you, Royal? Anyway, so my dog was huffing and puffing. But, like, I genuinely don't enjoy it. Like, I never liked cow's milk. I always found it gross and slimy. And then when I got to high school in Wisconsin, they're like, of course it's slimy. It has mucus in it, duh. And they add extra to it for chocolate milk. And I was like, what the fuck? What the hell? What the hell? And then my friend was like, hey, if you don't like cow milk, that's okay. You can get soy milk instead, and it still has calcium. And then that's how I stopped drinking milk. And I stopped using it for the things that I eat. And then when I was like 8, I stopped liking eggs. Y'all, I used to love eggs, scrambled eggs, omelets, deviled eggs, sunny side eggs up, everything about eggs. I used to love eggs. And then one day I woke up and it just stopped being food to me. Like, I just did not like it anymore. I didn't know anything about what veganism was. I didn't meet a vegetarian until I got to middle school. And I still didn't understand, what that really was. Because, like, she's vegetarian because she's Asian. That's her culture and whatnot. That's what she grew up with. So I never questioned it. I just thought that that was a thing in her culture, whatever. Like, I'm Black, she Asian. Like, I don't question it. That's her culture. I did not know what veganism was when I decided to partake in this journey. For the longest time, I was vegetarian because even though I knew damn well I did not like milk, I did not like eggs, and I didn't want it in my food because everything with dairy in it always has this sliminess to it. And then everything with eggs, it has a slight sharp taste to it. Even when it's something dry, even when it's a bread, a sauce, something, it has like that sharpness to it that I don't like in eggs. It doesn't necessarily taste like eggs, but it has that specific element in eggs I do not like. And then time is like, well, I don't eat eggs, I don't drink milk. And then when I was like 18, I stopped eating meat. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm not gonna eat meat anymore. It was like, my sister would feed me some food and I would eat everything but the meat. I would ask for extra sides, extra vegetables. I would eat bowls of vegetables. Like, literally, it was just not fucking with meat. And I just thought, oh, I don't feel like eating meat today. Or I don't really want sausage with my food, or I don't really want this piece of chicken. I literally want everything else besides it. And then after a couple of weeks of doing this, my sister was like, look, if you don't want to eat meat anymore, just say that. And I'll get you like some bulk of burgers or something. But you need protein. You can't just fill up on sides and like veggies. Like, you can't just have a bowl of broccoli for dinner. Like, you need food. So I was like, you know what? I actually don't want to eat meat anymore. I don't know what happened. I don't know what it is, but I just don't enjoy the taste. I don't enjoy the texture. Like, something about it just doesn't sit right with me. I'm just not enjoying it. Nobody, like, Netflix was still in the mail back then, okay? So there was no Cowspiracy or, you know, any of these like Netflix documentaries. I didn't really, like, I knew about PETA, but like I didn't really know about PETA, you know. And I didn't, like, nobody sat me down and made me watch a documentary showing me all the horrifying things about what's happening to our planet, the environment, our health, and all these other things to try and scare me into veganism. Like, nobody told me if you're not vegan, you're not a good person, and it like snapped a switch in me and made me choose this lifestyle. I just gradually over time just started cutting out food that I just didn't enjoy eating. And then it was to a point where it's like I would force myself to drink milk because people told me, oh, you need to drink milk to grow big and strong. You need it for your bones. You need calcium, blah, blah, blah. And then I grew up really skinny and like I internalized that, and I never thought to question it. I never thought to Google it. I never thought to, do I really need milk to get calcium, or can I do other things, until high school. So, and I only knew like 2 or 3 people that were vegetarian, and I never thought to ask them about them being vegetarian. I didn't meet other vegans until like well into my 20s, after I had already stopped eating all the things. I don't really know how long I've been vegan because the lines are blurred between vegetarianism and veganism. Like, I didn't set a specific date to cut out dairy and eggs. I just gradually was like, you know what? I don't even like milk. I don't even like eggs. Why am I continuing to eat food that has milk and eggs in it, knowing that it grosses me out and I don't like it? Because I have sensory issues, I have texture issues, and I just don't mess with it. And it's even to the point where, even though they make vegan versions of a lot of different things, I don't care what you make the stuff out of. If I don't like it, I don't like it. I don't want it. Like, that's how I got into this vegan space. Like, a lot of times I'll just say that I'm plant-based because that's, you know, has been my perspective. Like, I just like vegetables, okay? I like vegetables. I like fiber. I like a well-rounded whole foods diet. And if I know that I don't have to force myself to eat meat to get protein, and there's all these other things that I can eat instead, and it's actually broadened the amount of food that I can eat. And if I know that I don't need to have milk for calcium, and there's all these other foods that I can eat to get my calcium, and I don't need eggs for protein either, then it's like, why should I force myself to continue to eat food that I do not enjoy eating, just because that's what is socially acceptable, just because that is what is the most available to me? It's like, I don't like this food. I don't want it. And now that there's all these other options and I don't have to eat it, then why should I force it? So when you guys leave comments below my videos where I'm showing myself cooking a plant-based meal or going to a restaurant and ordering something with tofu or whatever the fuck, and you leave weird comments like bacon, or that's cool, I'm gonna go home and eat a steak, it's like, aha, gotcha. It's just weird to me. Like, that doesn't hurt my feelings. You're not doing anything to me. And like, when you guys leave comments like saying, oh, you're privileged, I hate vegans, blah blah blah, it's like, what you guys hate about veganism does not specifically apply to me.
Okay, so this is like the photo slash video area. Like, you couldn't come over here unless you're about to take pictures. And they didn't let people eat or drink over here. Like, I saw people walking around with drinks, and they told them they had to get off of this area because this is only for pictures and videos. But like, it was super cute. Like, it felt so dreamy and like fun. I enjoyed being over here. I think this is like the most fun little selfie area they had in recent years. I appreciate them kind of like switching it up and everything. And I thought that somebody would like reading this. It just looked interesting. I really like the art. It definitely looks really cool. And, I did my best to take, some pictures and take some videos. I really tried to avoid like taking video footage of like people's faces and stuff, but like it was hard because you go out in public and the public is there. So this was just like really fun and interactive. I feel like this was a great way to kind of remind people about the reason and the politics behind veganism without it being like super violent and aggressive. Like, it was still cute and fun. I really love these giant animal faces, like the chicken and the rooster, the bear. Like, they just made for a really nice, cute photo pop-up. Like, people were taking pictures and videos. Okay, so here's more food. This is like the Chicago hot dog place. Like, you see how it's people here, but it's not super people-y. Like, you can still see the grass and still walk around comfortably. You're not like elbow to elbow packed. And like, there's lines, but they're not like super long. Like, you're not going to be standing in the line for hours. Like, it was only a little bit of lines. And it was a diverse amount of food to where everybody wasn't just super duper packed up in one place. And this is like some of the menus. I thought you guys would like to see some of the food that is available here. I didn't eat every single thing, but I'm just showing you guys this. I already ate my food. I'm just walking around kind of showing you guys what else they had to offer. This candy was good. It kind of reminded me of a Laffy Taffy, but I guess, healthier. And then this is me drinking another bubbler. Mistakes were made, but these were good and they don't taste like caffeine. And this is, like the drink ticket area where people go to get drinks. And I don't know what's going on in that big balloon thing, but they were charging people to go in, so I didn't really go over there. And I saw Uncle Remus. If you're from the west side of Chicago, do you know Uncle Remus is not a vegan place, y'all? It's kind of like the Harold's Chicken of the west side. I was surprised when I saw it there. I was like, Ariana, what are you doing here? But, and I didn't want to pay like vegan fried chicken from Uncle Remus or like $4 for a bottle of mild sauce. But, it was cool that they were there and stuff, Like, I don't think that you could go to Uncle Remus and get, vegan chicken. Like, I think that you go there and you get chicken. Okay, so this is the place that was selling, like, the vegan fried mushroom catfish things that I thought looked interesting. And then here's, like, some Asian food. Asian people always be having vegan options for me. That's why most of the food I eat is Asian, and I be going to them Asian grocery stores. But, this was fun to see and everything. At this point, I was full and done with spending money. But, I'm just walking around for the plot. Really, I'm just curious to see what's all over here. It's hard to find vegan Caribbean food, so it was nice to see that here. And this place had like drinks and stuff, but this is what the menu looked like. Jackfruit fritters, cauliflower bites, and then there's other place they had like some vegan food. Here's the menu: deep fried corn, bake shop cookies, some jerk stuff. And this place was selling like health drinks, and they had little samples. I went over there to get the sample of the health drink. And then this stuff over here, it was like wings and stuff. It was way too many places here selling like vegan wings. I feel like it's kind of demystified since there's like Gardein and all that stuff. But, it was cool that they were there and they were out. I'm always curious to see how other people cook. Cinnaholic is in Chicago, and they're so good. I like them better than Cinnabon. They have so many more options. You should check it out when you get the chance. This place was selling like supplements and stuff, and I was like, that's not really related. Art of Dosa is not a vegan place, but they do have vegan things. They're like an Indian restaurant. They're on Devon Street, in India Town. So if you know what that is, it is on the north side of Chicago. Cafe Tola sells empanadas, but if you go to their place, they don't always have vegan options. But call ahead. This is the stage. There was a DJ playing music. Some people came over here to dance. And this is me leaving. Like, okay, bye, Vegandale. See you later. See you next year. Hope everybody got home safe and everything because it was hot. And I'm just, walking around and I'm just kind of looking to show you guys what it looks like to leave this place because getting here was kind of rough. But, this is my commute home. I've been seeing these bikes carrying people for a while. There's Millennial Park. I didn't want to show too much below because it was kids over there playing in the water. And, this is like the skyscrapers. Y'all, the Israel lights, Hotep, Hebrew guys were real deep on like this little walk path over here coming up. I don't know what's going on. At first, I saw this lady selling fruit and stuff, and I thought, oh, that's so cool to see with all the rain stuff going on. I thought they all packed up and left. And I saw her leaving, and I got close, and I see that it's like Department of Labor or some shit. And I was like, oh, that's what happened. Yuck. And I didn't mind my business until I saw this white gorilla across the street twerking. Like, bruh, it's 90 degrees. I know you are hot in that. Oh, my goodness. But yeah, I just kept trying to get a little footage of this because it was hard because I was across the street and cars are going by and I'm not trying to be in the way of the sidewalk. But I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of what it's like to casually be walking downtown. Yeah, they got these little bike things that people get on the back of. I always thought that these lights look like boobs in different shades. And then now they have security at Millennium Park. I don't know if they charging people or what, but they got security over there. And this is me by the bus stop home. Garrett's Popcorn usually has a line out the door and around the corner this time of year, but I guess people aren't really that interested this time. So there's that. And I'm just waiting on the bus home. It was kind of packed at the bus earlier, but a bunch of buses came before I got to the stop and I was able to get a bus soon. And this is what the footage looks like, going home. Showing you guys a little bit of what downtown looks like in case you're not from Chicago. I'm back home. It's about 8:30. I managed to bring home some stuff. This is the food that I managed to bring home. I got the fried broccoli tempura. I have the rest of my enchiladas. And I have like the rest of the jollof, plantains, and like maybe a bite left of like a cornbread muffin thing that I got from the Nigerian spot. So I didn't finish the enchiladas because they were too spicy. And then I didn't finish the broccoli because it was too salty. And then I didn't finish the jollof rice because I was too full from like that vegan Philly sandwich. And I feel like that was the only thing that was actually filling today as far as like protein goes. Look, vegans, I love y'all. We go way back. Okay? But y'all need more protein. Like, I feel like you guys should have nutrition labels and prices clearly labeled, big bold print that you can see from far away, and I shouldn't have to ask and I shouldn't have to guess. Like, I should just be able to know that information before deciding that that's something that I want to eat for the day. A lot of people that go to these festivals aren't vegan, so they don't really care about protein or whatever. They just want to go for the food and the vibes, and that is okay. But I, specifically me, myself, and I like protein, okay? And my main protein sources are tofu, seitan, which is made of vital wheat gluten, pretty high in protein. Any type of TVP, like that's a really good protein alternative. I do not want to pay you guys $20, $25, $30 for something that I know is only like 5 grams of protein or less. So do better with the protein, especially with these prices. Everything there was like on average about $20. So my first year I went to Vegandale. They had like sample sizes and then they had like the meal size.
and like all the sample sizes were like $5, and then some vendors even had free samples available for certain things that were trendy. I also noticed that like the vendors kind of changed over the years. Like the first year, it felt like we had a little bit of everybody from different states. But now that Vegandale is in Chicago, New York, LA, Canada, well, we don't have as many people coming to Chicago because there's vegan nail places closer to them, and then there's other vegan festivals that they can vend at, which is fine. But we did have a few out of town vendors. So there was like one from Memphis, one from New York, and I think everything else was like Chicago and like Chicago surrounding area stuff that is places that I wouldn't typically go to because they're just way too far, and I'm not about to go like an hour or two plus out of my way to go get a meal. I'm gonna, go somewhere that is local to me. I did not take any pictures of my makeup when I first did my makeup, so rookie mistake. But this is the makeup. My highlight is still highlighting. My blush is still blushing. Everything is still relatively in place. Just like my skin is a little bit glowy because I was sweating today. It was like in the 90s. I am not topless. This is the chiffon shirt. It's like lace at the top, and this is chiffon. And I have like this bikini top. And then I have these shorts. These are technically like lounge shorts that you're supposed to wear around the house, but they're so light and airy, and as long as they cover my body for the most part, I'm fine wearing them outside. And then I have these little back garters. So there's that. So this is the fit. And how we were looking today, and then I wore like my black sandals with like the little backs on them. So there's that. This is the hair. I have my little knives and my little safety pins. So pretty cool. I definitely enjoyed the festival. It was really nice. My only critique is that it was kind of hard to find. Like, I know that it is in Grant Park, but I didn't see a specific address listed on the ticket. Like, I didn't know that it was specifically on Monroe and Columbus Street. I just knew that it was in Grant Park and to walk towards that direction. So when I looked on Google Maps and just put in Grant Park, it told me to take the red line to Harris and get off. And that was just way too far from where I needed to be, and it was so hard to find. And then once I finally found what looked to be an entry point, it was actually just an exit point, something for vendors only. Then I had to walk all the way down to Monroe. So if you plan on going to Vegandale, it is specifically on Monroe and Columbus. Monroe is the entrance. You cannot get in on any of the other sides. Either they look open, they're not. You're gonna have to walk around too. There were no signs leading up to Vegandale. Like, there were no arrows, there was no Vegandale this way, entrance this way, nothing. So I had to walk around for about 45 minutes or so just to find the entrance, because all the signs and everything are like for Chicago NASCAR race, which isn't even until July. But they're putting up the bleachers and doing construction and stuff. Parts of the sidewalk are kind of blocked off leading up to it over there by like Buckingham Fountain and stuff. So it was a little bit difficult to navigate getting there because of the lack of signage and like all the like construction and stuff going on. But that's not, something I fault the venue for. My only critiques about the venue, for the most part, is that I wish that all of the vendors were required to have giant signs in giant fonts of exactly what they have selling at their booth today and exactly the prices. And if something is sold out, they can just cross it out. Like, I just wish that that was specifically required as the absolute bare minimum. And I also wish that there was like a nutrition facts next to the items so that I can make a decision about whether or not the food is worth investing into, if I'm trying to hit my protein goals, fiber goals, reduce cholesterol and whatever. I just kind of had to guesstimate based on my own knowledge of plant-based proteins. I know that seitan is really high in protein. I know that tofu can be hit or miss depending on how you make it. And I know that mushrooms and cauliflower are not valid protein options. Jackfruit is mostly sugar. So I appreciate all the effort that people put into making all these vegan options and stuff, but it doesn't have a lot of protein, and I don't want to pay like $20-$25 for it if I am hungry for real and it is hot and I'm just trying to find something to eat. If you're just looking for like little snacks and you just want to try things here and there, then great. But I do wish that they brought back the sample sizes, the sample option for like $5, $10. Like, I just wish there was more levels to it. Like, it was either I pay $25 and get this whole thing that I don't want, or nothing at all for a lot of the vendors. So I wish that it was, that sample size and then the real size. I really did appreciate that because it allowed me to try more food and not have to weigh my options so much. I came prepared. I brought a blanket to sit down on. Most of the areas are not grass, it's like woodchucks. So that was good on my part. I made sure to bring my water bottle. Luckily, they had free sparkling water, like this company called Bubbler in Waterloo. They both had sparkling water that they were just giving away to people. And that was really great. Definitely helped keep me hydrated. I only bought 2 drinks today. Like, I bought strawberry lemonade and like a canned beverage thing. So there's that. But I was mostly just like, oh, I'm thirsty. Let me go see if the people that are giving away sparkling water still have samples, and I can go over there and get another one. And luckily, they don't really care if you go back. Today I fucked up by accidentally drinking like 7 cups of coffee in one day. And before you guys think that I'm a fucking moron, hear me out. So I went to this festival in Chicago called Vegandale, and the first year that I went there, they had these hydration tanks set up, and there were signs all over the place encouraging people to drink water, encouraging people to stay hydrated and everything. But this year, like, I don't know, it's probably been going on for like 5-6 years at this point. So this year they had this thing where they had the drink tickets, and like the water and the juice were like $5, and like the alcohol and stuff was like $10. I did not want to pay $5 for a bottle of water every time I was thirsty. And when I saw these people giving away free samples, like the whole bottle of sparkling water, I thought, cool, what a great way to stay hydrated, because I wasn't about to pay for that water, okay? I wasn't about to pay for water. And when they should have just had it for free, because it's 90 degrees, it's a heat advisory, and people are like having like heat exhaustion issues left and right. Yeah, they had EMS there to like help people navigate it and stuff, but they should have just had water for free. So here's how I accidentally drank 7 cups of coffee. When I saw the people giving this bubbler stuff away, they were just like, hey, you want some free sparkling water? Pick your flavor, like, which one do you want? And I went over there and I grabbed one. And then every time I got thirsty, I just went back over to the area where they were giving away free samples of this in Waterloo. There was an energy drink place next to it. I walked right past that place because I don't drink energy drinks. I don't drink coffee. I'll have like a matcha tea maybe 2 or 3 times a week at best. Like, I'm not a high caffeine person. And I saw this brand, I saw people promoting this like on TikTok, or maybe I've seen this in Whole Foods or whatever. Like, it was somewhat familiar to me, but I never had this stuff before. I did not know that it was caffeine. So at this point, when I realized that this had caffeine, I was just kind of zoned out and reading over the can. I was like, oh, it says antioxidant sparkling water that boosts energy and restores balance. I thought, okay, that sounds cool. It's triple berry, whatever. And I noticed that right here it says natural caffeine. I was like, natural caffeine? What the fuck does that even mean? So I read the back of the can and it says 69 mg per can of natural caffeine, like a cup of coffee. And I had like 7 of these. Like I was just chugging these in the Waterloo back to back to back. What the fuck? Now this muscle has been twitching for the past 2 hours. What the fuck is gonna happen to me? I have never drank 7 cups of coffee in a year. In a lifetime, okay? Let alone a day. Like, what the fuck? There should have been like some type of disclaimer. So if you guys are going to Vegandale tomorrow and you see the people selling this stuff, just be warned that it has caffeine in it. And, you know, especially if you have kids and you're like, hey, I'm gonna give this to my kid or whatever. The Waterloo stuff that doesn't have caffeine, but this brand just has caffeine. I did not know. Like, if this was like a Celsius, like at first I thought the Celsius was sparkling water, but then I saw that it had caffeine in it, and it's supposed to be like a natural alternative to energy drinks. Like if this was a Celsius, and I would have known, okay, that has caffeine. Let me just go over to the Waterloo people, but I didn't know. And it wasn't advertised as an energy drink. They were just like handing it to people. They were telling people to come over to the booth. They're like, hey, you guys want some free sparkling water? Come over here, pick your flavor. I had all of the flavors. All of them. It was like 3 of them. Okay, so this one is a triple berry. They had like a raspberry, and they had like, I don't know, another blue-ish looking color. I think that was like tropical or whatever. But yeah, I had like at least 7 of these, probably more. I have no idea what's gonna happen to me. Like, what the hell? Like, sure, I should have read this before drinking it, but if somebody is like, hey, do you want free sparkling water, and it says sparkling water at the top, I'm not thinking, let me go through this whole can and make sure that there isn't like caffeine in it, and let me read the fine tiny little print at the back that says this is the equivalent to a cup of coffee. Like, look how tiny the print is. And it's so hot outside. It's so sunny. Like, this kind of causes a huge glare in the sun. Like, it's causing the glare of my ring light now. But it's even worse, like, in the sun. Like, I just wasn't really thinking about that. So, if you see somebody offering these and you're not, like, a huge caffeine person, just be aware that this has caffeine in it. And, like, maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't have like 7 in one day, thinking that you're just trying to stay hydrated. They didn't really care how many samples you took. Like, towards the end of the day, it felt like they were just trying to hurry up and get rid of whatever they had because they didn't want to take it home. And as a brand ambassador, I can understand that when a company gives you way too much stuff for the day, and they just tell you to get rid of it by the end of the day, and you're like, I can only take so much of this stuff home. It's heavy. I don't feel like carrying it. I just want to give it away to as many people as possible. So I definitely get that from like a brand ambassador standpoint. So it was cool because the first year that Vegandale came, they had water stations, and they really emphasized staying hydrated. But this year, water is like $5. Like, you have to buy drink tickets to get water, and the water was $5. It's like, girl, it is 90 degrees. Y'all need to bring back the hydration stations. Like, what are you doing? That's tent set up. And I unfortunately did see a few people that looked like they were dealing with some type of heat exhaustion and was in need of help. And luckily they were able to get the help they needed. But I feel like that could have been prevented if they just had free water as the absolute bare minimum. It's like you're paying like $25 to get there, and then the vendors are paying the fees, and they are charging so much money for the food and everything. The very least you can do is provide free water to make sure that everybody stays hydrated and everybody stays safe. So that's just like my whole thing. But it's like, they're not things that will prevent me from going to Vegandale again. I really just went there for the food and for the vibes. It was just a really chill place to go, sit down in the sun, relax, The music was decent and everything. Like, it was just a really nice, chill vibe place to be, and I definitely enjoyed it. It was just fun. This is the first year that I went there by myself. The first year I went there with my partner, and then we met up with a friend. And then last year, I went there with my sister. This year, she wasn't available to come with me. And then my partner, he does not like crowds. He don't really like being outside like that. He's a person that's like, are we specifically going to a specific place to buy a specific thing, get it, and go home? Cool. But he doesn't like to wander. He doesn't like to roam. He's a very much so like, if we're not going somewhere to get something specifically and go back home, I don't want to dilly dally. So I left him at home. But, he's fine. He stayed home with the dogs to chill out, and, he's pretty hydrated and everything. So good for them. But this is like the first time I went there by myself. And it was fun, but I had to carry everything by myself. And usually when I go with other people, it's like, okay, you bring this, you bring that, and I bring this, and I bring that. But I had to bring everything that I needed for myself, which is fine, but that just meant that I had to carry more stuff. I had to be very particular about what I brought because I didn't want it to be too heavy, because I don't want to be lugging around a whole lot of stuff. And I knew that I was going to be bringing home food. That's why I bought the Tupperware bowls. The Tupperware bowls allowed me to be able to get multiple things at once, put it in a Tupperware bowl, and then once I was ready to sit down and eat, I was able to just sit down and eat. I didn't have to go to a place, get the food, set my blanket out, eat it, go back and back again. Like, I was able to just do that. And also, there were some foods that I just didn't finish, and instead of being like, I have to force myself to eat this because I already bought it and I don't want to waste food and I don't want to waste money, and or throwing it away, I was able to just put it in a Tupperware bowl and be like, I'll eat this later. I'm gonna go roam around and see what else this place has to offer. So that was great. It was just like a really fun time, really good vibe. It's like, I went there for the food, but I stayed there for the vibes. The music was decent. The people were nice. Like, I didn't have any negative interactions with anyone. Like, nobody bothered me or anything. I saw other alternative people there, and like, it was such a nice vibe. Like, if you're just looking for a food festival, you want to try new foods, and you want to sit in the grass in the sun and enjoy the heat and all of that, then it's a great thing. I saw a few people with tents. I saw people bring chairs, bring stools. It was just me and my blanket. The more stuff you bring, the more stuff you have to carry. There is no parking at the festival. It is an outdoor festival. You do have to walk. So if you drive, wherever you park, you have to carry all your stuff from where you parked. And if you're taking public transportation, you have to carry all that stuff from public transportation. So if you're taking public transit, really limit the amount of stuff that you bring. Especially because security does check your bags. Like, they will make you open up your bags. And depending on what type of pockets you have, they will make you open and empty your pockets. And if you have any type of weapons or anything, then they're going to confiscate them. So be mindful of that.